John Brennan, he was Obama's CIA director, and he's under criminal investigation now for his role in the Russia hoax. Before the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton's camp contrived of an attack on Trump based on the fiction that he was a Russian agent. It didn't work. Trump won anyway. Obama then convened a December 9 meeting in the Oval Office where he directed Brennan and other senior intel officials to construct an intelligence committee assessment regarding Russia and the election. The order was clear. Even though Trump was the choice of the American voters, he could still be hobbled by a phony investigation over Russia. Brennan used the fake Steele dossier assembled by a foreign spy and sourced to Russian intel to effectuate the attempted coup. According to recent Rasmussen reporting and polling, 69% of Americans agree that the Russia hoax requires accountability. Ian Trottier has written High Stakes Treason, How John Brennan Compromised American Security for Millions. It details a selfish greed in John Brennan that illuminates how he could have been motivated to betray America. He's also the host of Discussions of Truth. He joins me now, Ian Trottier. So, Ian, I'm dying to get your reaction to all the documents that we've had come out recently about John Brennan. But in your book, you lay out a path of greed and graft that says a lot about the man. What will people learn in your piece?
Yeah, Matt, what people are going to find out when they read High Stakes Treason is that this man was simply an enemy to our constitutional republic. It's quite frankly, it's repulsive and disgusting what this man did to America over the course of his career. Really, we're focused between the years of 2009 and 2013 in the book, Matt. But he schemed for many years prior to that, I believe. And he's what I would refer to as a penetration agent. This is a communist infiltrator. Of course, he's an American by birth, but this person worked very hard over many years to infiltrate our system and destroy it. And the real unfortunate thing here, Matt, is that he's done it for selfish, greedy purposes for money, and it's happened at the cost of.
How much do you think he's made, Ian? How much do you think that do you allege that Mr. Brennan has gotten in ill-gotten gains?
Yeah. So what I calculate through SEC documents and false official statements is just shy of $5 million is what he's made off of the Analysis Corporation stocks. So that answers that question, Matt. Is that in that particular stock holding, which was a government contractor, he made just under $5 million.
Yeah, I'm sure he would attest to some utility he provided for that. But what do you cover this really important time in Brennan's life that leads right up to his participation in the Russia hoax. And so what personality traits, what dealings was he involved in those years that might show us why he was willing to take this order from Obama to really undermine American democracy?
Yeah, if we go back in the timeline of John Brennan, he's educated at Fordham. He spent years in Indonesia. He spent some time in Saudi Arabia. Just to sidetrack real quick is that he was chief of staff for George Tenet when 9/11 attacks hit. And what I'm hoping to find out here, Matt, is that George Tenet will also be brought in through some mishandlings of 9/11, but it looks like, again, to use that word penetration agent, philosophically, he was probably groomed. He was probably groomed by the globalist agenda, right? The kind of the deep state, hidden government strings, along with these kind of Obama people to implement these encroachments on our constitutional rights. And one of the things that I get at, Matt, and I spoke to Steve Bannon about this last week, is the deep state agenda, right? So not to get too far out of here, but we know there's certainly false flag events going on, and kind of the drive behind that is to take away our Second Amendment. We saw it happen under Mao Zedong in China, right? He took away private ownership of guns. In my personal opinion, that's kind of one of the underlying issues going on here, Matt, is systematically, and it doesn't happen overnight. This takes decades to do that. So if you put a pawn in place like a Brennan, like an Obama, like a clapper that can kind of drive home that agenda. That's kind of really what's happening here, is that type of freedom is being eroded. And I think Brennan was put into place likely because he was grabbing on to those types of socialist philosophies politically.
And who helped him along the way do all of this?
Yeah, so certainly to use that word, tenant. That's a great kind of person to say he was a protege of that person. But that's also a really good question. Those aren't things that I've really looked into in this particular book.
Well, we know
but
Obama.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, we know Obama helped him with the order to go and make this move on Trump. Now that you've studied so much of Brennan's life and you've seen these revelations from Director Gabbard and Director Ratcliffe, what is your reaction to Brennan's participation in assembling the Steele dossier and the George Papadopoulos nonsense into this surveillance operation and really this coup operation?
Yeah, it's an attempt for a coup d'état. There's no doubt about it, Matt. And what we're looking at, the tie-in to the Russian collusion here is Obama likely tabbed Brennan as his intelligence person, right? I mean, this was a person that had served as the advisor under the Homeland Security. That's what we talk about in the book, where these 3 terror attacks happened in Congress. So every time there was a terror attack, it benefited Brennan because his stock value increased. But likely tying into the Russian hoax, and it looks like you've got there December 9th, 2016. I've actually submitted a FOIA, Matt, with the Joint Chiefs because there should be an audio recording of that meeting that took place in the White House where this collusion happened. So I haven't received a response from my request, but I'd like to get a hold of that tape because it would be recorded, and it's probably on a skiff. So that would show what happened. My guess, Matt, is Obama, who had given Brennan an ethics waiver for that financial interest that he had with the TAC, he likely held that over Brennan's head, and that would have pigeonholed him, if you will, into orchestrating the Russian collusion and producing that Steele dossier.
Wow.
In the book, Roger Stone has written the foreword to that, Matt, and that also is something that Mr. Stone agrees probably happened. Is that Brennan orchestrated that?
If you and Roger get a hold of the Obama tapes ordering the coup of the Russia hoax, you are welcome to come on our program and play them anytime. Ian Trottier, great book, High Stakes Treason, How John Brennan Compromised American Security for Millions. It is a great lead up to the moments that almost toppled American democracy. Thanks for joining us on the program.